Superman went all that great. Dry theater. Man of Steel was better. Man of Steel was better. I like Henry Cavill's Zack Snyder Man of Steel. I like that universe better than this one. I do. I know it's gonna make some people mad. Some people gonna hate me. Hate me to the highest degree if you're gonna hate me. Matter of fact, at me, ho. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just to me, I preferred Man of Steel. I preferred that darker version. I know a lot of people didn't like it because it was darker and, oh, he killed this and that. The action was much better. The fighting was better. The villain was better. The Man of Steel, I'm tired of people acting like Man of Steel wasn't a good movie. That was a good movie. Now, what he did with Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, you can keep that Zack Snyder. I ain't really like all that. But that Man of Steel with his father and that whole storyline, I dug it. I liked it. I preferred it. Now, I understand I have a darker sense of humor, a darker personality, a darker outlook on the world. So I prefer darker things. I am a Batman fan, preferably that run in the late 80s, Dark Knight. I like that style of comic and hero better. A guy that's morally convicted. You know what I'm saying? And I understand people that like Superman tend to be people who with a sunnier disposition. People who like to do things like frolic. People who might end up in things like a snafu. People who, if somebody bumps into them, and they might say, excuse me, instead of excuse you. Those type of people tend to like Superman. Now I get it. I respect Superman for his status, for his strength, for his ultimate power. But I don't like nobody that's too much of a goody two shoes. That's not for me. But anyway, my issues with this movie, like I said, I didn't like the action. The fighting styles wasn't on par with what we had in Man of Steel. They didn't hit. They didn't. It was just, it wasn't that for me. And then the juvenile humor. Now, I know a lot of people gonna get mad. You're talking about the humor. I feel like James Gunn humor is perfect for Peacemaker. It's perfect. I like Peacemaker. For Superman, no. What the hell is the Justice Gang? The Justice Gang, my boy? I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? The whole monkeys trolling Superman online with it, that's corny. I just feel like Superman has a sense of humor that is much more like Thor, where he's more aloof, where he's more gullible and just green to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can find comedy in that. That juvenile comedy, I didn't like it. I didn't prefer it. I didn't hate the movie. It was just okay. Before y'all come at me, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, go ahead and at me, ho. But anyway, as I was saying, I didn't like those things. Even with Mr. Terrific, I did a movie, you know, clowning Mr. Terrific because I said they blacked him up too much to the point that he sounded like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, where Robert Downey Jr. was a white man imitating a black man. Hey, man, what's that? What you doing? Superman, you brought the dog. I didn't like that. And speaking of the dog, when the movie jump off after Superman gets beat into a bloody pulp and ends up crumpled in a ball like Goku after Frieza, Cell, or Kid Buu just annihilated him, he whistles and here comes this dumbass dog. Listen, I understand James Gunn adopted a dog and they made him want to put the dog in the movie. And in some version of Superman, he has a dog named Krypto. I get it. But this wasn't even an intelligent dog. This was a tripping, stumbling underfoot, accidentally get hit by a truck type of dog. This was that type of dog. The one where you were like, God, dumbass dog. That's that type of dog. Now, at the end of the movie, the dog wound up being my favorite character. But the dog was so unnecessary for the story. Now, if the little kids love it and they entertained by that, I respect it. My daughter said she loved the movie. To me, I said, baby, it's just okay. The dog was just unnecessary in a way for me. But I had an issue with that, you know. And like I said, when it goes to the fighting, like I seen a lot of people was talking about how great Mr. Terrific was. Now, I liked his presence. I liked the fact that they gave him the amount of time he had and his strength that he had in this movie. But at no point when I seen his fighting style, when he, you know, let out the T-spheres, that I'd be like, damn, that's cool. His fighting style with it is dope. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel it with Hawk Girl. I didn't even feel it when Guy Gardner, you know, Green Lantern was fighting. I didn't feel it. I did like Guy Gardner, Green Lantern being a surly SOB. I did like that. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't, I don't think the action matches up with what we got in Man of Steel and Justice League and things like that, like the fighting. That's my issue when it comes to that. But anyway, you know, after Superman is in his bloody pope and Krypto takes him back to the Forces of Solitude, these robots pick him up. And I didn't like the robots, but they put him in his chair and they play a video where his mom and dad tells him how great he is and how great they want him to be. And that makes him feel better. And then they blast UV radiation into him that regenerates his body back to 80%. And he goes back to the fight. And on his way there, this thing that Lex Luthor created, named the Engineer, which I also hated, sees where the Fortress of Solitude is, and Lex let Lex know. But anyway, Superman goes back to get his butt kicked again. He gets his ass whooped almost immediately. By this dude named Ultraman, who is, spoilers, a clone of Superman. But anyway, he gets knocked back into the ground, and this random Middle Eastern, Arabian guy, whatever, picks him up, helps him up, get up, Superman. And that pisses Lex off to the highest degree. Lex was pissed off. Lex hated that man so much, he hated somebody for helping picking him up. And later in the movie, he killed the nigga. It's just a lot in this movie. Like, it just, I know it's a superhero movie. I love superhero movies. It just was unnecessary stuff, didn't make no sense. Like I said, I respect they didn't want to do an origin story, and we kind of jumped in the middle of who Superman was. But it's just some stuff didn't make no sense. So anyway, Lex and the engineer and them break into the Fortress of Solitude and immediately destroy all the robots. So which we see the engineer and her nanotech fight for the first time. And once again, the fighting just didn't do it for me. It just, when she transformed and I didn't think it was cool. It just wasn't. I also beat the hell out of Krypto. But anyway, she sticks her nanotech inside of the machines that Superman have. And she's able to take information out that the robots from Krypton never could. The crystals with the tech in it never could. And nothing they had in the Fortress of Solitude could ever fix. But Lex, his technology could get it. I don't like that. I don't like that. And then they exposed to the world the secret recording where Superman's mother and father also wanted Superman to procreate with lots of women, take many wives, and have a bunch of half Kryptonians so Krypton would always live on. And even become their god if they won't listen. You know what I'm saying? To which this morally destroyed Superman. It broke him. And it even turned the world against Superman. These people that at this point he has been saving over and over again for years, they turned on him. They turned on him. And you know how he redeemed himself at the end of the movie? By doing the same thing he's always done. Saving everybody's life. Kicking butt. Like I said, James Gunn is much better with Peacemaker than I feel like he is with something like Superman. I said the Justice Gang was very amateur. I did like Metamorpho. I feel like his powers on display was dope. That final fighting scene, it just didn't do it for me with him and Ultraman and them playing the video game and using Ultraman to beat the brakes off Superman. That's neither here. I know some people are going to like it, some people even going to love it, but those are people who like to frolic. People who stop and smell the roses. People who end up in snafus. They love Superman. They love him. They love him. I just like Superman. Now, I love Batman. You can't talk bad about Batman at all. I mean, I didn't feel like Robert Pattinson was a great Batman, but that's a whole nother conversation for another time. But yeah, just those were my issues with this movie. I feel like the movie was just okay, and I feel like if people are going to be honest, if they're going to be truthful, not the people who just, the movie is about on the same level as Captain America, Brave New World. It's about, Thunderbolts was better. Thunderbolts was better. It's become so cool to trash Marvel right now, though, and anything that has a black-led character or women, anything like that there are some people that are not going to say that. They're not going to tell the truth. They're going to be okay with everything that this movie did. Which, if you just like the movie, that's cool. That's cool. I respect it. Because the movie's okay with me. It's just not all of that. Because you got some people at the best Superman ever. No, it's not. No, it's not. Put some respect on Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder. Put some respect on him. Because Man of Steel was a damn good movie. It really was. I don't ever plan on seeing this movie again. Even though I know I will watch it again at some point, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't leave this movie like I can't wait to get on streaming or I'm going to go back and watch it again. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Like I said, some of those issues I had with the Superman with like the juvenile humor, you know, it just never caught for me. It just kept missing. Every time a character tried to say in and tell a joke or come in at an awkward time and say something, it didn't land. It was kind of like the Eternals. When I seen the Eternals, I felt the same way. You know, when you had all these middle-aged heroes that supposedly been around for thousands of years that never stepped in, and Angelina Jolie and them trying to crack jokes and be funny. It didn't land. It didn't land. It was... Now, Superman is way better than the Eternals. The Eternals is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But, yeah, man, that's my opinion. We'll talk about, I know some of y'all not going to like that. I had this opinion because some of y'all think we're supposed to blow smoke up everybody behind us. We're supposed to love everything that ends up on the TV. Everything that they put on the big screen, we supposed to like it. No, we not. No, we not. Tell you, you can at me, ho.